Hi everybody, this is Kevin, and welcome back to another manga review. And once again, we're going to be taking a look at Fairy Tail with volume 33 from Hiro Mashima, which is the continuation of the Grand Magic Games arc. And well, the game's officially begun in the last volume, where Fairy Tail got completely humiliated, and not just Natsu's team, Fairy Tail Team A, but Fairy Tail Team B. And well, you have Team A consisting of Natsu, Urza, Gray, Lucy, and Elfman, who's replacing Wendy because she was taken out before the games could even officially begin by Raventail. And then you have Fairy Tail Team B, which consists of Loxus, Gagiel, Juvia, Mira Jane, and then Jalal, who is posing as Mystigan. And you had Lucy go head-to-head against Flare of Raventail, and really, Lucy won the match. I mean, let's be honest here. It's just like Joey against Marek and Yu-Gi-Oh! But there was a spectator from Raventail in the crowd who used his magic to negate Lucy's Urana Matria spell, and, just threw the match, and Flare won. It was just, robbed her, man. Robbed my girl Lucy. And then you had Mystigan, well, Jalal posing as Mystigan, take on Jorah, and they're doing pretty good, but the thing is, Jalal had to use Mystigan's magic to put up the ruse that he's Mystigan and not Jalal, and then he ended up using his own magic, true heavenly body magic, but Ultir and Merity were watching and were like, Jalal, you can't blow your cover just yet. So they use Merity's Sensory Link magic to basically combine Merity's feelings of Jalal, and they were feeding Merity hot peppers so that Jalal would mess up his attack. So they were completely humiliated. I think Fairy Tail Team B ended up getting like 1 or 2 points, whereas Team A got 0 points. So here they are. Let's see if they can have a come from behind victory. And just some great stuff here. And look at all the characters on the cover here. Masha mentioned in the afterword that he was really stressing out doing this because the thing is, there's 8 teams, 5 people on each team, so there's 40 unique characters that he really has to draw and make them look good, not to mention all the background characters. So he was working like a true madman here, and really great cover here. I love the pose of Natsu and Lucy and Urza, and then Elfman looking like a badass who really shines in this volume. And these 2 mysterious ladies here, I'll just tell you, Kagura and Eukano. Kagura of Mermaid Heel and Eukano of Sabretooth. So all will be revealed soon. And then this one, too. So yeah, here's the leaderboard. Yeah, Fairy Tail Team B with 1 point, Fairy Tail Team A with 0 points, Sabretooth in the lead, Raventail in second, etc., etc. And the ghost of Mavis came back to cheer them on. And of course, the only people who can see Mavis are those with the Fairy Tail Guild emblem. So that's good. And they go to the bar after the day, and Kana's saying how pathetic they all are. They're like, Kana, you didn't even cheer us on. It's like, oh yeah, I was watching you guys at all the bars. It was on the Lacrima, and you guys stink. So, too bad. And they notice that Gray and Lucy aren't there, and that's because, they really failed pretty badly. I mean, like I said, Lucy, she won. But Gray, that's the thing too I forgot to mention. They have contests before each match. Like each day, does it show it here? No, it doesn't. But there's 5 days, and at the start of each day, there's a contest, and then there's a battle. So, all sorts of cool stuff here. And then this is in Juvia's imagination. Gray and Lucy are sulking, and there's no, don't leave me alone. Lucy, the truth is, I've always felt. And, Juvia's thinking that Gray's cheating on her, And then they're like, oh, we're right here. Don't let your imagination run wild again. So Makarov's giving them all a pep talk saying, all right, tomorrow, we're not going to surrender. Let's aim for number 1. And they're all like, yeah, let's do it. Gotta love that right there. So they have a new resolve to do better and all that good stuff. And then you have Jalal looking from outside because, he has to pretend he's Mystigan, and Mystigan never really associated with many of the guild members. Oh, we also met this guy, Arcadio'S, who appeared to have some sort of connection with Zareth. But here he is speaking with the king. And the king is the one arranging the matches, and he asked for a match between Bacchus, for Bacchus to be involved, with the one from Fairy Tail who transforms, and he's confused. They both transform. I mean, Urza uses her re-equipping, and Elfman transforms using beast magic. So, let's get going. And you meet this guy here, Bacchus, who is hitting on Kana, have a drinking contest with me. And of course, that's all Kana does is booze it up. And Macau and Wakuba here are both like, oh, that lady's a monster. No one can beat her in a drinking contest. But amazingly, Bacchus does. And look at their faces. No way. Kata's passed out. And as his prize, he takes her top with him, which is something else. And these two are going after him thinking, oh, we'll beat him because he's a little tipsy. But no, he does quite well. To which Urza steps in. And they mention that they both known each other. It's been a while. And Urza says he's the S-class wizard of Quattro Cerberus. And he's quite strong. His technique is the more booze he has, the more powerful his magic is. So, and then Lucy's like, he's on par of Urza? Because we know that Urza's one of the stronger members of Fairy Tail. And that's the thing, too. So, Wendy's recovering from her run-in with Raventail, and poor Luska's nursing her back to health. And Carla had a vision. And she says to poor Luska, a white knight and a huge magic pattern. The Mercurius palace crumbling, and singing amid the ruins was Lucy. So holy shit, what does this mean? Oh man. So for the next match, oh and yeah, for the first day they have like a guest commentator. We have this guy here with the toupee and Mr. Yajima. And then yesterday they had Jenny as the guest commentator, and today they have Jason, who's just cool. He's part of Sorcerer Weekly, writes the magazine. So they got that going on. And for the next contest, they have this thing known as Chariot. Basically, it's like a moving vehicle, and you have to, get to the finish line. And the two numbnuts who decided to compete in this one were both Natsu and Gajiel, the Dragon Slayers, who succumbed to motion sickness. So, he's like, he can't breathe, he's falling down, he's sweating, and Gajiel and Sting is competing as well. And we know Sting's a Dragon Slayer as well, so, he's not doing too good. You can see this is the other guys. You have this guy in the lead from Raventail, our boy Ichiya. Leslie from Mermaid Heel, Yuka, and Bacchus is competing. And then all the Dragon Slayers are in last place. So this guy from Raventail is Kurahibe. And this chick here, as they're running, you have Ichiya, men! And Yuka, sort of insults her, like, oh, I'm surprised you can keep up giving your shape. And she says, don't you dare underestimate the chub. And then Ichiya says, we must have a fast feet perfume, point blank inhale. Men, look at him go. Holy shit, dude. So Bacchus takes a few swigs, and he totally destroys the platform, makes it to the end. Look at Elfman's face there. And that chick from Mermaid Heel, Leslie, runs so fast she turned all skinny, but really she has gravity magic and can do that. So that's interesting. But basically everyone's finished, and it's down to these three knuckleheads who both have the motion sickness. Look at their faces, they're all sweating, and it's just hilarious. And it's a fight to get either 2 points, 1 point, or 0 points. And as this is all going on, Sting essentially concedes defeat. He's like, it doesn't matter. We're gonna win the battles anyway, so I can afford to lose this. And to which Natsu and Gajiel both say, well, a point's a point. And Natsu and Gajiel race to the end. And Natsu claims the 2 points, whereas Gajiel claims 1 point. And look at Natsu go, like the absolute madman to get those extra points, which could prove to be the difference in the games. And, everyone's cheering on. These guys are all crying over a few measly points, but still, that's what Natsu said. And you gotta love that. And, Sting is just total asshole, like, oh, this is for your friends? That's pathetic. Because, Sting is like, why do you guys even care about the Grand Magic Games? You never cared about it before. And Natsu said, well, because we were in suspended animation for 7 years, and our friends suffered because of that, so we got to win this title for them. It's not even for me. We got to win to restore the honor of the Fairy Tail Guild. So after that, Raventail actually took the lead. And Fairy Tail B and A both had 2 points. And you get this guy. Lecter is like the smart exceed, and then Frosh rather. Anything someone says something, he says, Fro thinks so also. So after that, Natsu has to recover in the hospital now. And same with Wendy, she's still recovering. But we have the next match here against Kurahibe of Raventail versus Toby, the dog man from Lamia Scale. And then Flair is eyeing up Lucy, and Lucy mentions that, she's all bruised up. What's that about? And the guy from Raventail says, you want more punishment? It's only because we had to help you out. Never fail us again. And that's right, because Lucy won the match, but this asshole here used his magic to negate Lucy's spell. So Toby's not really doing too much against him. And they have a wager where basically the guy from Fairy Tail reveals it's not his real name. And Toby's like, all right, well, if I win, you tell me your real name. And if you win, I'll tell you something I'm going to keep it a secret. So the guy from Fairy Tail wins. And the secret is my socks. I can never find my other sock. I've been looking for it for 3 months, but I can't find it. And he has the fucking sock as like a necklace. So he points to his chest where the sock is, and he starts crying like, oh, thank you so much. And he rips his sock up. What the hell? Oh my god, dude, it's just freaking hilarious. But anyway, so Raventail takes a commanding lead as well, just proving what assholes they are. You got Makarov and Mavis scowling at them. So then the next matchup here, we have Bacchus, who, if you remember, the king requested that it be Bacchus versus the one from Fairy Tail who transforms L or but it turns out to be Elfman. And remember, Urza said that they were on par with each other. Bacchus and Urza were pretty much equal in strength, and we know that she's stronger than Elfman. So they call out Elfman's name. The king's like, no, I wanted Urza. So Elfman has to go out there anyway like a real man and face him. And they have a wager because, the last group just said, let's have a friendly bet. So he says, if I win, I get your 2 sisters for the night. They're both little hotties, Mira J and Lasana. Look at their faces, sweating. And, Elfman's like, how dare you? I'll break you to pieces. Look at him, the veins in his forehead. You know that he's so protective of his sisters. So, then it cuts back over to the hospital when Natsu wakes up and he finds that Wendy, Carla, and the old lady, does he not know her name? Porliuska, have been taken away, to which Natsu chases after them. I wanted to mention this, too. I follow an account on Twitter with like the Fairy Tail color panels. This is one of the color panels, and this one is absolutely gorgeous. It's like always like the moments of Lucy and stuff. And I love this one in color. So I don't know if I can link it in the description or anything, but I wanted to make note of that. But anyway, so Natsu's chasing after them. They knock them all out, and these look like they're like assassins or thieves or something. So Natsu catches them. Who you work for? And it cuts back over here to Elfman and Bacchus having their battle. And, Elfman can't really do much against them because, as we established, Bacchus is much stronger. So, Elfman has the Beast Soul takeover. So he transforms into a tiger to try and get the speed advantage. But it's still not enough. And then Urza says, Bacchus gets his strength from drinking his booze over here. But he hasn't even had a drink yet. It's hasn't had it. So until he starts drinking it, he's not even tapped into his full potential. So they continue to have their fight, and Bacchus is overwhelming him until eventually Elfman transforms into Lizard Man, and Bacchus lands a blow, but it doesn't do much because look at his skin. It's all scaly. So Elfman says, well, we'll see who can outlast us. Your fists or my body. So, as they always say, a strong defense is a very powerful offense, right? However the saying goes. So that's it. The two of them go at it, and I love like the panels of them showing everyone in the crowd. And of course, Lasana and Mira, who are like, no, we don't want to sleep with this creepy guy. And Elfman, with his honor to protect his sisters and to do it for the guild. And the two of them, Elfman's tapped out of his power. He's turned back to his human form and bleeding all over, sweating all over, wheezing, coughing. And the two of them are ready to collapse when Elfman gets on his knees. All right? And you look at him. And as that happens, he starts laughing. And then Bacchus says, you really are a man. And he's the one who collapses. Elfman collapses to his knees, right? But Bacchus falls completely down. Down for the count. Look at that pose of Elfman, man. Standing strong. What a great moment. So, you gotta love that. And I skipped over it, but basically, they had the wager, right, where Bacchus wanted to sleep with his sisters. But Elfman, later on in the match, says, if I win, you're going to rename your guild to Quattro Puppy. So that's what they do. So you got to love that one. And he won in just his triumphant pose. I love it, man. So, Natsu apprehends the guys here, and they reveal that it was Raventail who put him up to this, to kidnap the girl who was in the infirmary. Past tense, meaning they're not looking for Wendy, they're looking for Lucy. Dun, dun, dun. And then this asshole here was the one behind it, Arcadio'S, because he's using the discord between Fairy Tail and Raven Tail as an excuse to further Operation Eclipse. This is actually the color page that's the cover of Manga box set number 3. Another beautiful color page. So, to prevent this from happening again, and because now Elfman's got to go to the hospital, they have the Raging Tribe, Evergreen, Freed, and Bixlow guarding it, so that no one can interfere with them ever again. And this is where they deduce the fact that they weren't really looking for Wendy, they were looking for Lucy. And what could be the reason behind that? And that's when Carla's thinking, putting the 2 and 2 together, she had that vision about the castle crumbling down and Lucy singing. What does that mean? So the next matchup, oh my god, goddamn, you got ready for this. So the next matchup here we have with Fairy Tail Team B, Mira Jane versus Blue Pegasus, Jenny. And look at Makram's face, he knows what's coming. And it's a bikini showdown. Now, I mean, I don't know, man, this is tough, but I'm gonna have to go with Mira. But they're both pretty hot. But they're having a bikini showdown, and everyone in the crowd is loving it. It's pretty hard to decide a decisive winner in this one, but they go through it, and you got Jason. They're both so cool, such beauties. And down here they do like the quick little montage: girls in glasses, cat ears, bondage, all the fetishes. The cat ears one's for me. Who's that? Oh, that's Jenny. So maybe I am more of a Jenny simp than a Mira simp. But we all know that Lucy is number 1. So as it keeps going on, you get the dudes with the nosebleeds, and they decide that they're going to have one final showdown, and the loser will have to pose nude in Sorcerer Weekly. So it's just hilarious, man. And then they go into their battle forms, thinking that like if they do the battle forms, Mira Jane transforms into a devil, so she might not be as sexy as her battle form, but I beg to differ. But anyway, she does the transform with Satan's soul, and then they end up having a fight anyway, to which Mira wins, and it's a beautiful thing. And then, like, you gotta love Mira too, like how she transforms into a fucking demon, right? Look at her. We'll go back 2 more. A demon. And then she has that cute little, oh, sorry, look forward to seeing you in your birthday suit, Jenny. And then they're all like, oh, we can't wait to get, no matter who took the victory, the winners really were us. We're buying that issue without fail. Oh, man, loved it. So then we get a run of Captain Arcadio'S meeting with Darton, of the Minister of Defense. And they're talking about the Eclipse Project and how they need to obtain a celestial wizard to activate Operation Eclipse. And Darton says, are you some kind of devil? This is for the sake of king and country. I'll become a devil or a god or whatever is required. When you compare it to the door that will change the world, Eclipse, the life of one girl is a very small price to pay. So goddamn, here's the Eclipse. And apparently they need to use a girl's life to activate it. And Lucy. Not our Lucy. So we get the next matchup here, where we have Kagura going up against Eukano. And the 2 ladies yet again. And again, how they've all sort of had friendly wagers. We had Toby with his stupid wager about the sock. Then we had Elfman and Bacchus, the wager about his sisters. Then we had the wager about the posing nude for Sorcerer Weekly. And now this next wager, Eukano proposes that they have a wager. And Kagura says, well, no, I don't need those petty things in my life. And so Eukano decides, let's place our lives on the line. Very well. So the 2 of them here, very composed. And you find out here that Eukano actually is a celestial spirit user herself. And Arcadio'S, well, Lucy's surprise, of course, and same with Darton. And then it cuts over to Arcadio'S. There's another celestial wizard, so apparently they need a celestial wizard to activate this Eclipse Gate. And she summons Pisces and then Libra. So she can also summon 2 at once. And you learn here that Libra uses gravity, and Kagura is struggling a little. And they say, well, what are we going to do about that? And to which Leslie says, well, Kagura taught me the gravity magic, so she knows gravity magic as well. And then Eukano threatens about the 13th gate, which is an omen of bad luck. And they open the 13th gate because we thought there were only 12 gates, but apparently there's a 13th one, an unlucky 13 with Ophusius. And then Kagura has her sword here, which she wields, which transforms. It says, Unto Fugo Titan, which translates to Vengeance Sword, Arch Enemy, and cuts the snake right in half there, and ready to strike down Eukano. And you see the horror in Eukano's face. And she wins, but obviously doesn't kill her because she's not going to do that. This is great too. So the fucking announcer of his toupee comes flying off. Whoa! And Jason falls down there. So Sabretooth, when they had a great start in day one, didn't do so well here. You know, Sting lost, and same with Eukano. They didn't earn any points. And Arcadio'S is plotting there because, you know, he has another contingency plan if Lucy doesn't work out for him. And Kagura, your life belongs to me now. Understood? Arcadio'S, there's another celestial wizard here. It must be divine providence. That makes success even more assured. And then Jalal, who the only reason why Jalal is here is because he's felt strange magical energy coming from the games for the past 7 years. And he says, something is strange. The second day of games has ended, but I haven't sensed that strange magic power I sense every year. It was the end of the second day of the Grand Magic Games, leaving only 5 more until that fateful day. So here's the leaderboard. Raventail took the lead. And then we have Sabretooth, Lamia Scale, Mermaid Heel, Blue Pegasus, Quattro Puppy, and they're all tied with Fairy Tail at the bottom. So Fairy Tail's moving up a little. We'll see what happens. And, you know, we get Jalal meeting with Urza and talking about how they haven't sensed the magical energy. To which we meet this one with the hood, who turns out it's Miliana, who we haven't seen since the Tower of Heaven arc, all the way back in the beginning of the series. And she's all grown up now. Urchan, long time no see. I missed you so much. So they get this cute little moment here where they embrace. Urza asks where Sho and Wally went, and she says, well, they're still there. Oh, did I go too fast? They're still there, you know, exploring the world, but we joined Mermaid Heel. And then it cuts over here to Sabretooth with their master, Ziema, who says, you are too pathetic even to cry over, you pieces of trash. Just remember why we stand above all the other wizard guilds. You do not see worms, you do not listen to them, you crush them beneath your feet. The only things that catch our attention are bigger fish. You make the heavens roar, you make the earth boil, you silence the seas. That is Sabretooth. Look at his arm, man. The fucking vein coming out there. This guy means business. So, in a way to punish them, he scolds Sting and says, you have one more chance after that pathetic performance. Do not fail me again. And then, as he's eating here, he throws a grape at Eukano. What an asshole. And he says, you know, you bet your life and lost, and you still received pity. You know, this is not what Sabretooth is. So as punishment, strip your clothes. And he also says to remove your guild emblem. So what a bunch of humiliation right in front of the guild there. And there's her guild emblem there. And she has to remove that, signifying that she has been expelled from the guild. Get out, or excuse me, get the hell out of here, you trash. So we get a moment here with Rogue and Sting where Rogue is reasonable. And he says Eukano was a comrade. They should have done that. And, you know, Sting's like, well, she's just pathetic. She gets to leave. And then Frosh asked Rogue, you know, I'm weak too. Am I leaving? And Rogue says, you're not going to go anywhere, Frosh. You'll always be by my side. So, you know, we get some cracks in their armor, learning that Rogue is more sentimental than Sting, and Sting's all business. And what an asshole this guy is. I mean, Eukano, come on. So they leave the hotel, and then they're like asking about Gray, and they're like, oh, Gray got roped into hanging out with Juvia and Leon, and you know, there's the love triangle going on with them. And as they're walking back, they see Eukano outside a hotel, and they're like, oh, that's the celestial spirit from Sabretooth. What are you doing? And then we also learn with Miliana and Urza that they're talking about the arch enemy sword that Kagura uses, and it's unsheathed, and she'll only take it out to strike down her arch enemy, who she wants to use it to kill Jalal. And Miliana wants to kill Jalal as well, because back during the Tower of Heaven arc, you know, Jalal enslaved them, and really was doing it against his will because he was controlled by Ultier, but has seen the right in his wrongs, trying to atone for his sins now. And Urza knows that, but Miliana doesn't, and it really can't really say it quite yet. So, a lot of tension going on here. So Eukano decides to give her keys to Lucy, because Lucy has the 10 golden keys. She has 2, and the 13th one, and says, here, complete the collection. And Lucy's like, no, I can't take them. What are you talking about? And reveals that, she was expelled from the guild, so there's nothing more for her to do, and I have to entrust it with a stronger celestial spirit than I am. Although, like I said, Lucy lost her match, but not really. Like, she totally won the match, but was screwed over. So, But, just a sad moment here, and then Eukano leaves, and then we get this moment, too, where, the fan service stuff with Lucy changing and going in the shower, and Natsu's chasing after Eukano, asking what happened, and she's crying, and tells Natsu that she was forced to strip in front of the whole guild and embarrassed, and had to remove her guild mark. And Natsu, hearing this, thinking, he thinks of the guild as his friends and family, whereas Ziema of Sabretooth is just all about winning. And so Natsu isn't having any of this nonsense and decides to run off. And then it cuts over here to Gray and Urza, and they're both having their problems because, Urza doesn't know what to do about Jalal now that Miliana and Kagura want to kill him. And they're talking about Juvia. And as they bring it up, Gray starts blushing. And Urza says, you are not stupid, so you must see how Juvia feels. It's time you made up your mind, is it not? Like, come on, bro. Why can't you just do anything with Juvia? What is the holdup? So Arcadio'S is thinking, one girl holds 10 keys, one girl holds 2. All 12 keys are here. Eclipse will be brought to full functionality. And then there's a bang outside, and then also before that, he's yelling Zareth. So, like I said, this guy is in League of Zareth? I mean, what's that all about? Because he kept talking about, we'll bring Lord Zareth. So everyone wants to do something. Do they not know that Lord Zareth is alive? I mean, he's out there roaming around, God knows where at this point. But Natsu comes tumbling into the Sabretooth hotel and screaming, where's your master? And everyone's looking at him like, is this guy crazy? And Ziema says, you have some business with me, brat? So you're the master. You expel somebody after just one loss? Gotta be pretty fired up to do that, huh? So the same applies to you. If you lose to me, you're closing down your guild. So it ends right there with Natsu facing off against Ziema. So stay tuned for that. And again, I question, why the fuck is Gray, why doesn't he steal the guild of Juvia? And so here's a little side story. I remember, Jenny's posing nude in the magazine, so all the men are waiting in line, and I love this too with Macau and Wakaba. Romeo's not looking, and then there's Wakaba's wife and I guess kid over there, and holy shit, man, look at that, look at Jenny, the 2 nosebleeds. But as they go further into this, and then just disclaimer, I mean, you may not want to watch this, but as they go further into the magazine, they they get the Ichiya pose. And as he's looking at Ichiya, Romeo walks in on him. They're like, Dad, what are you looking at? Like, Ichiya, man, what does he have his nipples taped up? What the fuck is going on there? But then we get redeemed to a nice cat Urza, so gotta love it. And again, man, and there's a preview. Well, yeah, here's the sketch drawing. This was the initial cover, what they thought the cover would be. I like how this cover turned out. But this is like another attempt, because you get the same thing. Kagura versus Eukano, Elfman versus Bacchus, Mira Jane versus Jenny, and then chibi characters of them, which actually in volume 34, there's the chibi characters down below, so he did keep that for the next volume. But again, I love Fairy Tail. I think this is a fantastic series. The Grand Magic games can only get better, and yeah, I mean, clearly the highlight for me would have to be these 2 ladies here. Woo! But yeah, Elfman standing up being a real man, Natsu going in there and standing up for Eukano, all good stuff, and I can't wait to see what happens next and to see how the plot develops with Arcadio'S. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more reviews coming soon.